one result in physics that I want to share with you, and it might come in very handy to you. This is about a line of charge. It'll come in really useful to you. I'm not going to spend time proving it. You can prove it yourself, but let me tell you, suppose this is a finite line of charge with linear charge density lambda. Uniform linear charge density lambda. Now, there is a point P, not symmetrically located with respect to the wire, not symmetrically located with respect to the wire. And the perpendicular distance of P from this line of charge is, say, R. These are the ends of the wire, line of charge. Now, if I have to find the field at P, if I have to find the electric field at P, no, I'm sure I have not. I'll tell you what. Give me a few minutes. No integration, nothing. All that you need to do is join P to A, join P to B, draw an arc with center P and radius R. Center P and radius R. This is an arc with center P and radius R. This is an arc. SQT is an arc with center P and radius R. And imagine this lambda to be over this arc. Imagine the lambda to be, there is the same linear charge density on this arc. Then let me tell you that the field at P will be, because of this line of charge, will be the same as the field at P because of this arc of charge. Because of this arc of charge of radius R, the field at P will be the same as the field because of this line of charge. And if you recall, if there is an arc, if this is an arc, say, centered at PST, and there is linear charge density lambda on ST. There is linear charge density lambda on ST. Then the field at P will be along the angle bisector of this. The field at P will be along the angle bisector, and suppose this angle is theta. Suppose this angle is theta. This whole angle is theta. Then it's easy to prove that this arc of charge has a field which is like theta by 2 here, theta by 2 here, and this field is like lambda by 2 pi epsilon naught r into sine theta by 2. Right? You know this result, right? The field at this P will be along the angle bisector of APB. The field at P the field at P will be along the angle bisector at P and will be equal to lambda by 2 pi epsilon naught r into sine theta by 2. That will be the field at P. It will be along the angle bisector at P, and the magnitude of the field will be the same as the field produced by this arc of charge. That means this line of charge could have been replaced by an arc which would have been lot easier to deal with. would have been a lot easier to deal with. Now, say for example, you know, if there is an infinite line of charge, there is an infinite line of charge, right? And there is a point P. This is a point P at a distance r. Now do you realize that A and B are really far away from each other, and very far from P? A and B are very, in this infinite line of charge, A and B are very far. That means if A and B are very far, PA will be practically parallel to AB, PB will also be practically parallel to AB, yes or no? Right? So then if I draw an arc, then this would be my arc. This would be my arc. This would be my arc. Semicircle. If A moves further and further away, then this becomes my arc. The required arc that I have drawn. See, it's like PA opening up. It's like if A goes further and further away, PA opens up and eventually A will come to this position, isn't it? The intersection S will come to this position, and the intersection T, if B keeps moving further away, then this T would keep moving up and would, in a limiting state, T would come down here, T would come down here, and this would be my S and T. So now I say this infinite line of charge will be the same as the field produced by this semicircular arc of charge. And the field here is going to be what? Because of this semicircular arc of charge is going to be lambda by 2 pi epsilon naught r into sine theta by 2. Theta is 180 degrees. Theta by 2 would be 90 degrees. So sine pi by 2, which is lambda by 2 pi epsilon naught r, which is the field at a distance r from an infinite line of charge. You might want to, you know, use this result at very many places. You could have had, say, a line of charge like this, right? So to reduce the line of charge to an arc will save you the trouble of extensive integration, right? If you understand this fact. And say this is another perpendicular line of charge, infinite line of charge, another perpendicular infinite line of charge. And I have a point P here, say, which is at a distance r from this and at a distance r from this. Suppose this is my point P. And at this point, these are two infinite lines of charge. And at this point P, I want to find the electric field. At this point P, I want to find the electric field. What would I do? From this point P, I'll start to construct the arc of radius r centered at P. Then since this point is really far away, the intersection S would be like, you'll get a quarter of a circle for this portion, right? You'll get this quarter of a circle. Now for this portion, and eventually like this, for this, you know, it goes this way. Yes or no? Right? Right? So then eventually it boils down to, you know, this 3/4 of a circle. This 3/4, the field at P would be because of these 3/4, because of these 3/4 circles, right? And you know, of course, the field because of these 3/4 circles, you know, with linear charge density lambda, this would have been lambda over it, right? And if I had completed the circle, if I had imaginary, this is something that, then the net field at P would have been 0. That means the field because of these 3/4 would exactly cancel the field because of this. So now the field because of this quarter I can easily compute, which would be like this. So the field because of these 3/4 would be exactly equal in magnitude and opposite direction to the field because of this quarter, field because of this quarter. So the net field at this would be like this because of these 3/4 quarter circles. May want to keep a tab on this result. It will come in very useful, right?